But you got to be that guy that, you know, women want them to smash, and you know, you can't be married. You know, you got to be available. You got to be all these different things. And so all the photos of me that you see back from that time period or whatever, I am not smiling, bro. I got like before Dwayne Johnson was throwing the eyebrow up or whatever, that was my, never smiling. It just.
What's good with it? What's poppin'? What it is, what it ain't, what it could be, what it should be, what it would be. Cam Newton the son, Mr. Boogity All, here with another episode of Funky Friday. And ladies and gentlemen, I really do promise to give good content for the masses. But most of all, I just promise to always keep it funky. Now my next guest been telling you how we do it.
Yes, sir.
Hey, hold up, stop. While I got everybody's attention, specifically you, make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you comment, but most of all, make sure you subscribe. Back to the show. He's a singer, he's an actor, son, brother, father, grandfather, husband. I present to some and introduce to others, Pastor Montell Jordan.
It's Friday night, and I feel alright.
Party's here on the west side.
Yeah.
Come on now.
It is. What's good, man?
Man, how we doing, bro?
I'm great, man.
Not a lot of people have came on this platform that was taller than me.
Yeah. You're welcome.
There you go. I had to go get some help, you know what I'm saying? I had to bring them boots. I said, no. I can't have him one up me. You did. How's everything, man, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm glad to be here. I watch this and I consume this, and now to be here is just it's cool, man.
You're looking like it. You got the bedazzled pants on.
Listen, when you coming to Funky Fridays, I got to come on, man. Come on. I gotta
you got the bag down there just in the tuck.
Yeah.
All that, man.
Young life.
You feel me? It's going together. It's doing what it's supposed to do.
Well, let's talk this just real quick, if I can, because I get stopped all the time. A lot of, are you Cam Newton? It's like, no, I'm not Cam. I mean, we both handsome. I get that.
Yeah.
But it's the hats. For whatever reason, you wear hats, I wear hats, and people, when they see a tall black dude with an extravagant hat, they think automatically, oh, that must be Cam Newton. I don't think anybody ever asked you if you were Montell Jordan, did they?
No.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's the hair or what it might be, but that's one of the things that, like, I gotta have a cool hat.
That's probably the thing that I'm most proud of. And I travel a lot.
Yeah.
And when people say, I knew that was you because I seen your hat.
Exactly.
And it's like, I've always wore hats all my life. And some would think that I'm trying to hide something, but I have a head full of hair. And it's like, I just genuinely love hats. I can't wear a regular ball cap now because they don't fit.
Yeah.
You feel me? So now I take that as a sign of endearment and respect because Mashika hats, by the way, custom. So
okay, that's what's up. My guy is a hatrimony.
Holy hatrimony.
Yep, hatrimony. Husband and wife couple.
What?
Yeah, they kill it. He's an artist. He played in the NFL for a while. His name is Jordan Sullen. Dope kid. I think he was in New Orleans for a while.
Well, you know what? Let's stay here. What was your introduction to hats?
My introduction?
Because everybody has a story.
Absolutely. Okay, so my whole Def Jam era of, music days or whatever, I was a ball cap dude. I was a West Side kind of guy. Every now and then, I might throw on like a fedora or something like that. It was on my 50th birthday. When I turned 50 years young, I was on my way. My wife was taking me to Tahiti for my birthday, and we were walking through Beverly Hills and ate at the restaurant Crustaceans because they be popping with them garlic noodles.
Yeah.
But anyway, we walked by this store and I saw a hat and it literally called out to me for the first time. And I was like, oh, this is me. And from that time, when I threw that hat on, that was my first official hat. Now I probably got maybe, if I say I got 50 or 60 hats, then now I don't know how many hats you got, but I got like, for me, I got like 50 or 60 and it's good.
How do you kind of put it together? Do you start with the hat or finish with the hat?
I start with the hat.
Okay.
I come with an idea. So like I'll say, yo, I'm wearing a dope blue jean outfit, blue jean jumpsuit outfit and some fresh ones or something like that. And then my guy will be like, okay, cool. If you're going blue jean, then he'll just start putting the piece and things together. Yeah.
So we've obviously had history because I appreciate you once again with always supporting the Kick It With Cam.
That's right.
In Charlotte, bro. I got to find ways to bring that back. And that was something that I kind of slept on, its impact. And you see...
Major, bro.
It was so fun, man.
Not only that, not just for the kids that you would, like, when I came out to participate, I would bring my son with me, this little kid, and running out there with all the celebrities and athletes and playing, man, we had the time of our life. He'll talk about that to this day. Remember, we was hanging out with Cam? It was dope.
It's always...
And you did it the right way, too. Y'all had the Bentleys roll up and pick everybody. It was crazy,
Yeah,
bro.
man, it was good.
It was dope.
It's having good partners in places that allows you to really fulfill your vision. Now, you grew up in South Central LA in a Baptist home with both parents serving as deacons. Now, I did not know women could be deacons. But with our history, deacons, as for men, and deaconesses...
Deaconess is for women.
For women. And I'm over here, we're in the production. I'm like, nah, that ain't right. It is right.
Yeah.
It's the denomination. I grew up in a Pentecostal church.
Yeah.
We had ushers.
We have
evangelists and things like that. And that's not to say that men can't be one or women can't be the other. I stand corrected.
That's all good.
Now, what kind of foundation did that give you before ever entering the music picture?
Yeah, church for me, Cam, that was like my farming, that was like my minor league introduction to the music business. Right. So my training, my teaching, I never learned to play music. I tried to learn how to read music, but I learned to play by ear. So, whereas when it comes to musicality, and playing a piece of sheet music that's placed in front of me, I got nothing for you.
Still to this day?
To this day, I cannot read music. But what I learned is the gift of being able to play by ear is I can follow and I can create a little differently. So although I can't play the music that's on the page, I can play music that hasn't been created yet. And so that's kind of the give and take of that. And then in that Baptist space or whatever, when you have somebody that's very musical, that's guiding you, that was my journey to be able to help me know how to maneuver and create on the fly.
Is something that never ceased to amaze me is the amount of people who had their kind of introduction to music starting in church.
Oh, yeah.
And it can go as far back to whatever musical artist that you want to kind of root it to. But what was that kind of transformation to? I mean, I always have people on here, and if you hear this in church, let them use you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like no matter what it is, and I'll take it a step further with you, you know what I'm saying, on the piano. When you grew up in the West Coast, I grew up in the South. When you hear dun 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 dun, it's like we got so many connections. I ain't never been to church with you a day in my life.
Oh, but we've been there.
But to share those moments of like, it's the comparable of like any basketball player knows what 21 is.
Yeah.
Any person in church knows that melody of
absolutely.
Like, we don't have to play basketball together.
What it is.
It is what it is.
You know what it is. So
for you, how was growing up in church, and when were you first thrusted in that piano position?
Yeah. So I was brought up like as a baby in church, insulated, if you will. It was almost like if the church doors were open, like we were there. Family reunion, basically. So all my uncles, aunties, like the whole family was Carver Missionary Baptist Church on the corner of 51st and Hoover in Los Angeles. And we was on the west side. And I'm just kind of flashing back right now because it was like, it was a wild time because it was, Crips, Bloods. You had to know how to move through LA.
Yeah.
Even people today, they'll tell you, oh, don't go here, don't go there. When you were in that time period that I was growing up, you just kind of had to have certain passes to move through through the city. So when I'm going to church to be a musician and do what I'm doing on 51st and Hoover, like that's like the Hoover Crips over there. And so, you know, walking up and down the blocks and stuff, it was like cool for us because all the dudes that we knew or whatever, their mamas and their grandmamas went to the church.
Wow.
So they knew us as the kids you don't really mess with or whatever because, you know, they play the music at the church. So it was almost like a rites of passage, you know, in the hood that I never had to join a gang. I was probably more affiliated, honestly, just because I knew a lot of guys. And so you never had to actually be in a gang because I had a dad at home. And that was the thing that deterred me. I feared my dad more than I feared a gang. And so church life for me was it was like breathing. We knew it wasn't like, oh, I don't want to go. Like you were going to church. It was a regular thing.
Yeah. Now, you were playing piano in church as a kid. Did you ever imagine that same gift would take you to the #1 record or for you to have global fame?
Never. I was just serving the Lord, honestly. It was just it was a gift. Our pastor, Richard Stubbs, he gave us the gift of music, taught us to play by ear. Really, he was trying to, you know, he wanted to build his own musician stable is what he did. And so he taught us how to play in the keys that he could sing in, you know, so I don't even play, even when I play by ear, I'm not proficient in all keys or whatever. I'm A flat, G, B flat, because when he wrote, I feel God.
Hold on, look down.
You know, so I knew how to find the keys that he was going to do his thing in. And so, just brought up in church, insulated in church, and that became my, probably the biggest journey of me trying to figure out who I was going to be musically, because I never saw myself being famous. I never saw myself being in a group, but I wanted to be somebody. You know, when I was growing up, before the WWE was the WWF, I wanted to be a wrestler. I wanted to be, you know, I was always imitating and emulating, you know, somebody. I was imitating comedians. One of the gifts that I had back then was the ability to, you know, to emulate other people or whatever. And so I would use that, you know, laughter, all those as gifts to try and help me navigate, I don't even think I was trying to get out of the hood. I was just at the time trying to survive, you know, and you don't know no different. I know no different.
Now, similar story for me. My father, who was a pastor, a bishop, now tried to kind of raise his flock, you know, to serve the Lord.
Train up a child in the ways.
You know what I'm saying? Now, it worked with my brother. My brother, crazy, or as magnificent as he is, my older brother can play the drums like somebody I have never, he has that gift. My dad tried to make me play piano. I just couldn't do it. And I was like, man, it didn't matter how much, you know, instructional videos. I just couldn't like lock in on like, okay, A flat, D. Hold on, what's that? Where's the positioning of your finger? I just couldn't get it. Like my brother was just so locked in and doing the paradiddle and all this and that and like tightening up his, that was what he was into. They was just like, you know what, Cam, cool, man, give him a bongo. Give him a tambourine, just bang on something, you know what I'm saying? Like that was my introduction to music, and I wasn't musically inclined. Now looking back at it, I just wish I either could play a guitar, I wish I could play a guitar or play the piano, because I think it's just so cool to have that gift to be able to do it. In training camp for me, Jonathan Stewart. Jay Stu, solid.
Good dude.
They had in Walford College, you know, where we would be playing spades or playing in the card games, they would have a piano right there. And we would have like an hour-and-a-half break where you could either take a nap, go get treatment, or do something right after lunch. I would always hear that melody of a piano that Jay Stu would be
sitting out there playing.
Yeah, bro, and it was just so cool. I just look back and like, dang, I wish I could do it, but it wasn't in my deck of cards.
So here's a thought. The difference between talented and anointed. God gives us all gifts. I believe that. Your dad probably recognized that there were gifts in you, and sometimes you're trying to figure out if that gifting is a talent or if it's an anointing. By definition, talent is what you can do with the gift that God gave you. Anointing is what God can do through you with the gift that he gave you. So for me, I played piano, right? But I'm not an anointed piano player, meaning I'm talented, but talent is almost just like what I'm capable of doing on my own.
Yeah.
So if I sit down to it, if you gave me a song in here, put a piano here today, I would suck, bro. But if you give me like a couple of hours to sit with a song or whatever, I'll figure it out because it's like a muscle. And the more I use it, the better and more proficient I get to where I can do what I need to do with it. And the more and more and more, the better and better. The worse and worse that I don't use it, it goes dormant. Anointing though, that is what I'm able to do, and it's effortless for me.
Yeah.
It's almost like when it comes to songwriting, like I can write songs and music and hear melodies and harmonies and stuff like that, and I don't have to work at that. So I'd imagine what you were doing, I believe your dad was probably trying to find out where that gift is either your talent, skill set, or where you might be anointed. I imagine you work hard at what you did on the field, but there are probably some things that just came natural to you too. And that natural thing is because I believe God would use you and work through you to give you certain abilities that is just like, man,
I never heard it that way. Talent and anointed.
Yeah.
If I look back at my life, I would say I was anointed to get through to people.
Yeah.
I would say my greatest gift is not football. My greatest gift is that I've never met a stranger.
Yeah.
I can talk to anybody. Like if you give me enough words to say I could get myself out of or get myself
anything.
into
Yes, sir.
anything. You feel me saying?
Yeah.
Just with the right time. I remember vividly where saying Easter speeches or saying, welcome, hey, welcome to Holy Zion Center of Deliverance. Those type of things is just so easy for me. I could not get embarrassed. Still to this day, like people talk, that's cool. I just don't take myself that serious enough for it to hit home where like I'm taking that offensive. And some of those things, it was public speaking. I didn't acknowledge it as public speaking.
Right.
But feeling comfortable with, it was a lot of, let them use you. Okay, all right, you know. And I would just respond, accordingly. We all have our own things growing up in the church where you was thrusted into doing it.
Absolutely.
Mine was either playing the bongo, miming, praise dance.
Did they mimed you, bro?
Had to mime, brother. This was before the Jabberwockies.
You had to mime?
Yes, I was there. Ooh. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that Pentecost, they be going at
you.
You was going hard.
Nah, they didn't give me none of the wands. They knew that. It was like, hold on now. You're like, nah, we didn't have none of them. That was the praise dancers.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I was the mime. I was, doing my own, situation.
This is shocking to me, bro.
Really?
Yeah. Like I've known that your dad was a bishop. Like I knew from back in the day when doing the kickball stuff.
Yeah.
Like I knew that your dad was a man of God. So I knew it's in there, but like to hear you talk about it, it's kind of like,
vivid.
Yeah.
And where the disconnect is, I don't hold, and I'm embarrassed to say, I don't hold my children today with the same expectancy as my father held with me in church. It's like, we going to church. It's no ifs, ands, or but I can't spend the night over here because I got to go to church.
Right.
That's how strenuous and much discipline that I had growing up. I didn't watch NFL football until I, in essence, was in college because, we watched the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we were in church. So to tell these stories, I know it's probably shocking to people, but that's just what my life was. Like I really had those type of, them tent revivals where, man.
As a dad, why did you let off that with your kids?
A lot of that had to do with just me being busy. Whether you want to make that an excuse or not, well, for me, Sundays, like yesterday, I was out of town.
Yeah.
And I would have loved for my children to make it, to church. And it's a different dynamic.
Yeah.
And would I have wanted that to be the staple and foundation? Yes. But it's still in me to make sure that my children know a higher power.
For sure.
Before they leave, before they go, it's a calling that I pray over them. They have to understand how to pray and the power of prayer. Before every single day, my mother would pray over us and she would just like, Mama, we got to go. I'm about to miss the bus. Or man, I'm late. Boy,
We're going to pray.
we gonna pray.
We gonna pray.
My grandmother, God rest her soul, if all of us was in attendance at my house, every single one of us was gonna pray.
Oh, wow.
And that was your kind of rite of passage
Yeah.
to our household. It was like, it's okay.
Yeah, you're going to be here. You're going to be here.
Let him
though.
use you.
Yeah.
Just say a prayer, all the things that you're grateful for.
Yeah.
And I didn't appreciate it then, but I appreciate it now.
That's good, man.
And when my children have their friends over, these are one of the things that you can tell who's come from a household that, whether we wanted to or not, it was just embedded in us. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
No, man. You don't got to say, but
It's like basketball players that know what 21 is. It's the
Yeah.
same thing. There's certain terminology, certain mannerisms of church kids and people that have been around it.
so what's crazy, what I want to ask is, with you growing up in church, did you ever use the impersonation act, as the quote, you Sunday? That was almost like a talent show.
Yeah.
Did you impersonate anybody?
We, and I say we because it wasn't just me, it was a bunch of kids that we all were trying to be who we thought we would become. We didn't recognize who we were in our identities yet. And so musically, I didn't know, I knew Luther Vandross, you know what I'm saying? I knew Freddie Jackson, I knew Lionel Richie, I knew the artists that I loved. I knew the 80s music and the Cyndi Laupers I think musically we interpreted what was happening in the world and we would sneak that into the church.
Yeah.
So vocally, I hadn't even gotten to singing and stuff yet.
Yeah.
But when I sat down to the piano, you know what I'm saying? If we were finishing a song off, I would do a turnaround at the end of the song from Prince's Purple Rain. And I knew the kids would look over each other like, ooh.
You in trouble?
And I knew the older people didn't have no idea, what that was, or a James Brown thing or whatever. We were very, very inspired by what was happening
You was in tune to
in
what
the
was going
world.
on. Yes. Okay.
Even though the church, at least when I was growing up, was kind of like the church, this is God.
That's not
and
of God.
Everything else not of God. That's the devil's music or whatever. And I had to do a lot of reconciling with that, growing up, of that whole delineation, that whole distinction. I mean, I eventually become an R&B artist.
Yeah.
A hip hop R&B artist, signed to Def Jam Records. So that whole space of me living in the world of coming up, doing gospel music and being a Christian kid, and then reconciling, well, how are you able to do R&B music?
Yeah.
That was a tough road to walk, but I felt like I did it well, and I found a peace at what I was doing.
For sure. Now, looking back at it, when did you realize, or first realize, music could actually be your life and not just something you did in church?
I remember the defining moment. I was Sarah High School, graduation talent show. Sarah was an all-guys Catholic school in Gardena, California. And I remember I was a kid that showed up there with a Jerry curl, back when dudes was rocking the bald head fades with the waves and everything. And so I was just always behind. When it came to basketball, I was always behind. So I would always get laughed at. I was ridiculed. I was just a little goofy. I was tall and couldn't play ball. My name was Jordan. I mean, come on, man. That's just a recipe
that
for
time, that was a
disaster.
disrespect.
You tall, I got to the school, got to Sarah, boy 6'5", named Jordan, and can't play no ball? Man, that was terrible. So I had to learn how to fight differently physically, and so I learned how to, the dozens, the nine, the whole thing about, cracking on dudes or whatever and being funny enough to, it's one thing you could make fun of me or whatever, but you cool, and I know how to make fun of you, and you cool or whatever. And I was like, ooh, you got him? Yeah. And so from that standpoint, I remember what I had done in church was always separate. All the guys that I had gone to school with all those years, when I go to church on Sunday, what I did musically was separate. And for that senior year talent show, I remember I sat down to the piano in the gym, and I sat down and I played Lionel Richie's Jesus Is Love in front of my entire student body. And, Father, help your children. And I played it and sang it. And I can remember when I finished that song, it was almost like a silence first. Like a I can't believe that just happened moment.
Yeah.
And then they erupted into like this applause, dudes that were clowning me, their parents, like everybody. And I remember sitting on the piano in that moment, I was like, maybe this is what I'm supposed to do. Like this felt like the spot where you really see me, because I didn't feel, fully seen in those other spaces. I didn't feel seen on the basketball. I didn't feel seen here and there. But behind that piano, that was a spot where it was like, in the church, I was tucked away and people saw me.
Yeah.
But now outside of the church on the piano, people also saw me.
You went from Pepperdine Communications degree, pledged Kappa Alpha Psi. There's a lot of talk with people online denouncing D9 due to religious reasons. Being a man of God and a Kappa, separate the fact from fiction from those who do not understand that world. Man, have you ever been locked in on summer plans and you hit that classic moment? What am I gonna wear? I'm talking about graduations. What else? Weddings, Memorial Day weekend, my birthday. The calendar just starts to stack up fast. And suddenly, every invite comes with some type of panic. And that right there is the main reason why I rock with Macy's. They ain't got nothing to wear, into sheer confidence. Their personal stylist helps you lock in a full look. Their personal stylists help you lock in a full look. And get this, they'll even help you find the perfect gift while you at it. I don't know about you, but I still love that in-store feeling. Touching the fabrics, trying things on, mixing shoes and all type of accessories. See the whole fit come to life. Plus, you have fragrance and skincare experts helping you build that summer glow and helping you lock in your signature summer scent. So when it's time to show up, tell you is not scrambling. You ready?
Got you. Y'all getting into it here on a Funky Friday. Y'all not playing. All right, so this is something that I wrestle with. And when I say I wrestle with it, I've been a Kappa now for, I guess, going on maybe 36, 37 years. And what I did, and I think what every person that goes through their journey, it's on them to do what they do. For me, because I am a man of God, I don't bow to no other gods. I trust in Jesus, and I feel like I've been able to separate what an organization does and what my faith is, because my faith has nothing to do with the Kappa organization. Right. I will say that I made sure that I circle back around to be able to say to God, hey, me joining this organization, if there was anything that I did or anything that I said, any oaths, any rituals, anything that I may have done that crossed the line between us, I will renounce that, because I'm not going to bow down and put myself in a position, that where me and God is at odds because I'm trying to hold on to something. I do believe that the brotherhood that I forged in 30-something years, the members that founded Kappa Alpha Psi were Christians. And so from that standpoint, what it has done in the African-American community, what it's done for Black men, I'm able to separate that I'm a man of God, I worship nobody but Jesus Christ, and from that standpoint, I still can have a relationship with these brothers, and maybe I don't do all the, I don't wear the paraphernalia like I used to. Maybe I'm not out, doing all the stuff I used to do, but when people see me, they know bro, it's been 30-something years.
Yeah.
And so from that standpoint, I am confident that me and God are cool, and me and the organization are cool.
Now, growing up, and as we get to a point of now, you as an adult, did you battle living two different lives?
Only two?
Talk about it. Because it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I know for me it was. Just to be, I look at it like this. There were more days of worldly opportunities than there were spiritual re-tapping back into.
Yeah.
Growing up, Sunday was the day. Yeah. Like that's where you get recharged.
You're gonna be this camp.
Correct. Wednesday, Bible study, was also a different version, kind of tapping back into Sunday. Depending on what the weekend was, where we had to have a community event, fish fry, car wash to raise money, whatever. But more times than not, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, depending on what the day, the world was you.
Yeah.
So how was that experience for you going through that or navigating through that to finding yourself and your identity?
I term it spiritual schizophrenia. Now, I don't mean to belittle a psychological term, a real, medical term in schizophrenia. But what I learned was I became different Montells for different reasons.
Wow.
If I am with church folks, I know how to talk, I shift, I become a different Montell.
In real time.
In real time. It's almost like code switching.
Yeah.
But just with life. If I'm with you and we pull out cigars, hang this out, like I become that Montell.
Yeah.
When I was with my mama, I'm a different Montell. When I'm with these guys, I'm different Montell. Like I would find myself trying to keep up with different Montells in real time.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I realized that is exhausting, bro. Trying to be a different person. And so that's initially how I navigated, just being different Montell, especially getting Def Jam Records. I was like, I'm the R&B Montell here, but then I'm home with my mom and dad, I'm that Montell.
Yeah.
And so eventually what ministry did for me was it allowed me to be one Montell. I became the Montell I felt like God loved the most.
Yeah.
And when I become him, then I could be Montell with Cam.
Yeah.
And I'm cool. If Cam is having a drink and Cam is having a cigar, maybe I have a cigar, but maybe I don't smoke it.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody else cusses, but I don't. Maybe but I am Montell when I preach on a Sunday, when I speak at an event, if I perform a concert, God is always on my lips. Jesus is always going to come out of my mouth from that standpoint of ministry. And I just love who I get to be now. And all those other Montells just had to die so that one could live.
Wow. Wow. So when This Is How We Do It dropped, did you feel prepared for that level of global success, or was it overwhelming?
I don't think anybody could prepare for that, bro. That was a ride, man. That was a
What Montell
monster.
do you want? Which Montell is deserving of telling that story?
Well, okay, so I want to try and make sure I honor how this happens. This is how we do it. Slick Rick the Ruler, that's one of my mentors. Love Ricky. We took a hit song. It was already a hit, Children's Story. We were able to make it a classic. Def Jam came along. They put all the muscle, the energy behind what that was. I took my sensibilities of the West Coast, South Central LA. I became Russell's rap singer, and I literally just took what I saw in South Central LA, what I lived, and I just put it into a song. I was a rap singer. A lot of people don't know that. That I didn't just like sing R&B. I was signed as a rap singer because I would take rap lyrics and then I would sing them. So I would say, I reach for my 40 and I turn it up. Designated driver, take the keys to my truck. If you just hear rhythmically, da 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 da, that's like a rapid fire rap. It's rap.
Right.
Designated driver, take the keys to my truck. But I said, designated driver, take the keys to my truck. And so that's how I got into that space. And so taking that song, it could have been even bigger than it was. And it was a monster. It's one of the biggest party.
Oh, it's up there.
It's one of the biggest party records of the last century. It wasn't as big as it could have been because at that time when the song dropped, Def Jam was in a transitionary period and they were doing some different things with distribution, and they were like, okay, let's go overseas. And so we were over in Spain and we was over in Germany, like doing stuff with distributors when I should have been doing Saturday Night Live. I never did Saturday Night Live. I never did Tonight Show or Leno or Arsenio Hall, like all the stuff that was popping that would have made the song really big. I had the #1 song in America and I was over in Spain at a bullfight, bro. So yeah, it was crazy. Like, I know that's crazy. But the point that I'm making was the song could have been bigger based on marketing and promoting it differently. It still was a massive hit.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons it was as big as it was through customization, literally. Big record in Los Angeles, New York City, Hot 97, they're not playing that record. South Central does it like nobody does.
Yeah.
And we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, what do we do? Well, we go into the engineering booth and I go in there and say, oh, New York does it like nobody does. Brooklyn does it like nobody
And you make
does.
it specific to
and
the
I
markets.
make a exclusive. And then I'm starting to put the DJ's names in the song. This is how we do. It's Friday night. I feel like Paul's Funk Master Flex. So reach for the 40. Angie Martinez, Wendy Williams in the like, and people love to hear their names in songs.
For sure.
So now the song makes it to New York City. You know, I got a West Coast song playing out in New York City. And then DC hears and they're like, hold on, we heard you did a customized version. Can you, DC does it like nobody does. Indianapolis does it like nobody does. Dallas does it like, and so literally the song exploded because I had to sing the song a million more times than the actual recording, because everywhere I went, I did customized versions for every station and for every DJ pretty much, or radio personality on those.
And just
stations.
for the viewer, during this time of making and creating music, it wasn't as easy as just putting it on a streaming platform.
No.
Like, these are cassettes.
You sell 1 million records, you have to touch 1 million people. And that's a big difference or whatever. That's one of the things one of my mentors told me, that you want to sell 1 million records, you got to touch 1 million people. So when I sold 1 million or 2 million or 3 million, it's because 3 million people actually went
out there,
hand-to-hand combat and bought it. Yeah,
that's dope. Now, do you think the East Coast, West Coast beef in the mid-'90s had anything to do with the original version not getting played in New York? Because you had to choose a side. Like when I look at the documentaries, you know, obviously Tupac and Biggie, it was no middle ground.
Right.
Like you had to, boom.
Not for me. I think, one, because I was signed to Def Jam. I was from the West Coast, but because I was signed to Def Jam, it gave me the credibility to be out in New York City and to move and to, you know, and I don't know all of how the inner workings of that went, but I do know that everywhere I went, I was very well received from a standpoint. I'm not just like I was like a rapper, but in a singer's, you know what I'm saying, like a singer's body, really.
Yeah.
So you have to move with a different credibility at that time.
For sure. Now, let's talk about your pen game, because you aren't just a singer. You've got the new gospel song with Kim Burrell. Who else have you written for, just for the people to understand?
Yeah, okay, well, the new song is dope. I love it. Renee Spearman, Kim Burrell, You Chose Me. It's my first real gospel record. Wow. Like, I've done gospel my whole life as underground artist, but it's just my life has been gospel, the good news. But in addition to that song that's more recent, I have written songs for a lot of people. Deborah Cox, Nobody's Supposed to Be Here. You know that song? How did you get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. I tried that love thing.
I did. So my question is not funny, but when that song dropped, I remember vividly, I had to be in like the 5th grade, right? And we always remix stuff.
Yeah.
How did you get here? Chick, I caught the buzz. Nobody.
Are you serious?
You never heard that?
I'm today years old hearing that.
No.
Yes.
Y'all know about that too?
Are we tripping?
No, y'all know. I've never, no.
Are you serious? Like it was a different, the next stanza, nobody's supposed to be here. Like, it was a customized
They added stuff to every line.
Yes, and
Never heard.
I promise you.
My heart says no, chick, your heart can't talk.
Yes.
Say that
Are you
again.
serious?
Like, for real, I'm so, like, we were in there in the back just like doing sing-alongs. Like, I know Deborah Cox, and I remember the music video. It was so wholesome.
Bro, I'm today years old.
You
Ever hearing this?
got to be kidding me.
No, sir. I kid you not.
Well,
I kid you not.
They remixed it. I am very,
That's wild.
familiar with the song.
Got the bus.
Yes. But no.
I know it didn't say that.
Okay, thank you. No, it's not chick. It was
I got you. Yeah, I
thank you.
understand.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Let him use.
Let him use
Let him use.
Let him use you.
But those type of customizations was just like, all right.
Wow.
People don't know your ability to write music.
Yeah.
And writing that, another anthem, which is another banger in a club or a social event.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, wow, like how, during that time of creativity, where do you go? How do you tap in? How do you think as that individual? And how do you determine who it's for?
Yeah. Well, I got to give credit to my boy Shep Crawford, who's now a pastor now as well. You know, we grew up playing piano and organ in the church together, and there was, I think, an anointing that we both had that came with not just playing music, but it came with the sensibility of stories of hurt, of pain, and us being able to capture those and say it in a certain kind of way. Yeah. And we wanted to be the next Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. We wanted to be those producers, songwriters, and we just had a good chemistry together, man. We still are like the best of friends to this day now, and that's what we would do, man. So like songs like a number one record from Cisco, Incomplete. Even though it seems I have everything, I don't want to be a lonely fool. Those are songs that we were writing, and we had an artist in mind. Normally when we were writing, we were like, if Marvin Gaye were alive, you know, if Michael Jackson would sing this song, or Patti LaBelle would sing this song, what would they sing? And so we wrote from the standpoint of real artists and what they would say. Now, it never really made it to those artists, but still, you know, it was like we wanted to write timeless stuff, you know, for people.
I'll ask you this, because there's such a sensitivity in creation that what's your thought process of AI and AI's involvement in making music, whether through beats? Man, we've talked to countless AI artists that it sounds cool, you know what I'm saying? And as a writer, as a artist, where you are telling a story off of real life experiences, where does your mind go as far as knowing that a person can use a ChatGPT, can use other forms of creativity that's not infused in actual experiences?
It's so early, Cam. It's hard to tell if I'm honest. It's early and it's scary. All right. So to me, it is, you know, people cook from scratch, and then the microwave oven comes along. It makes it faster, makes it easier. Something is packaged up or whatever, and it becomes, you know, more accessible. It takes a lot of the work out of it. But you know, when mom get in there, she make that mac and cheese. Bro. It's like,
them layers.
You know, it's just gonna be, it's different. Now, it doesn't mean that the microwave is bad. It just means I prefer something from scratch, even though I recognize there's a faster, more efficient way, you know, to do it. Doesn't make it more real. I think that artificial intelligence, that AI, should not exist without HI, without human intelligence. To me, you have, where my challenge is, people that are using AI to try and benefit and do different things because you give prompts good. And you can then circumvent the hard work that goes into the creation of something beautiful that came from the heart. So for example, I'm a wordsmith. Like I said, songwriting is easy for me. If I'm going to use AI, I know the right things to be able to say, hey, I want a string line that not only diminishes at the end of the fourth stanza or whatever, but I want to make sure that it has a tremolo in it that then leads down to when this chord progression changes right here. When I get to this part of the song that I'm writing, I want to make sure that now there's a swell of oboes and this, like, you'd have to be really, really intricate with the prompts that you put in to get a certain type of thing.
But it can do it though.
It can. Okay. But I'm saying it's who can do it. So from the standpoint of, I got musicians that can do that I would rather go to them and have them play it. But I understand for efficiency's sake, for finance sake, if you and I cut a demo in here right now where we just beat on stuff and we could take that and can drop it right into the AI and it'll create a beat and make it a record that we could drop tomorrow. Is that what we want the music business to become?
Yeah.
You know, is that the thing that, to me, it's tough, man, because I'm a Stevie Wonder Intervisions guy.
Yeah.
I'm a guy that I appreciated the value of what's coming from the heart. And so what it does for me now is it gives me question marks. When I hear a song today, and it's a dope song, and there's like choirs on it and stuff like that, I go immediately and I'm thinking, okay, they had to use AI probably for the choirs, because if you didn't, you had to bring like 30 people and record their vocals a bunch of different times to get a choir to sound like that and to sound that precise and to sound that clean. And so I don't know if I like that, honestly. I'm old though.
Yeah.
I'm young, but I'm old.
I hear, as you're talking,
Say it.
does the consumer care?
That is the problem.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's the problem, that you have to ask that question.
It's like,
Does the consumer care?
music is medicine.
Yeah.
And when you take that into consideration, it is turned into, now they're dropping music on Thursday nights.
Yeah.
You know, it would be Apple or Spotify or Tidal. They would drop music on Fridays and everybody would digest it. Oh man, you heard that new album. Oh, you heard this or you heard that. And then all of a sudden, the next Friday, you don't forgot about that music.
Right.
It's just like we're on to the next. So the ability to drop pieces of music from the consumer is just like bam, bam, bam. The dopamine that's hitting that brain is like, okay, I don't know about that one now.
Yeah.
Okay.
One, you don't have to pay for it now, really. So you have to pay for it, and then because it's all accessible and it's coming, time after time after time, it's really like, I would push back just a little bit. I would say that some music is medicine, but I would say some music is healing. And here's what I mean by that. Like music, like medicating something, medicine medicates something. It doesn't necessarily heal it, but it fixes the symptom for a time. I believe there's certain music that's healing though. And it's not just medication, it's going to the core of who you are. That's the difference. Like an AI song, you could drop that, and it hits me for the moment. Or I can go and be with my wife to this one, or I can go this or that, and it's just medicating for a moment. But when you get to a Silk Sonic album, an evening with Silk Sonic, that's not medicine, man. That's healing. That's something that hits at the core of, it is tough, man, because when you say, does the consumer care? I think there's a difference between being a consumer and being a fan.
Yeah.
During my day, during my time, I think that there was a thing to where people say, what's the difference between music today and music back then? Well, music back then was, I'm going to support Sade whether she has a song on the radio or not. I'm going to get a Hall & Oates project whether they got a song on the radio or not. I love Hall & Oates. I love Sade. I love the people. Now you hear a song on the radio, you don't even know who the person is, you just know the song.
Yeah.
You like the song. And so the artistry is what ends up getting lost, for the artificial access that everybody has.
Right.
So the person that's trying to get out there right now, they're just trying to find the right song to strike the right chord so that they can get a song. If they get some in rotation and get some spins and get some this or that. But that doesn't build artistry, man, and that doesn't build longevity, it doesn't build legacy. And that's why you got so much music out there and not a lot of artists.
Man, you just snapped with that one. I mean, it gets real tough because I can sense the sensitivity being a creator.
Yeah.
And what goes into a project, right? It's like, there's times where you hear certain things or you witness certain things, and me not being able to kind of go to concerts early on in my life to now witnessing a festival or seeing a artist perform it gives me a whole different appreciation to it, where I would have to sneak and watch, the BET music videos, the MTV music videos, and see like, okay, this is how we do. It was like, bro, it was a vibe in that music video. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was just like wavy or whatever. And nowadays, you just go on YouTube and somebody's just doing in essence, a glorified vlog, and that's their music video.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? It's like the richness of music, where you had to think about the title, you had to think about the album cover, you had to think about, You know, how
Apples
does
back there, man? It's texture, man.
Yeah.
It's authenticity. It's I like, you know, when you talk about like this is how we do it. I don't share this too often, but I think I may have just said this someplace somewhere. I'm a student of music, man, and so I used to listen to Marvin Gaye. I would listen to a song, one of the greatest party records of all time, Got to Give It Up. I used to go out and party, stand around. Have you ever heard? I'm sure you're familiar
Yes,
with
sir.
that song. What people don't listen to is throughout most of that entire song, there's a crowd in the song. There are people laughing. If you go back, you hear the song completely different. If you were to take Marvin's voice out and you were to take all the background vocals out, you would just hear a party. There are people literally just in there, hey, pass me that drink. What you talking about? Like it's like when you listen to Jamaica Funk. Jamaica Funk, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know, there are people in that Tom Brown. There's a human element that's the infrastructure of the song. And so that's what I did with This Is How We Do It. This is how we do it. I went and took a microphone, put a bunch of alcohol in the room, invited a bunch of guys, a bunch of girls, came into the booth and said, hey, y'all get to know each other. And I went in the other room.
Know each other.
I went in the other room and I said, hit record. And me and OG Pierce, he's passed away now, he just hit record. And so you hear people laughing, they're drinking, they're having a good time, they're introducing themselves to each other. And then at some point I was like, hey, y'all just lean into mine and say, this is how we do it, like that. And then I had them do it a bunch of different times. And from that, when you listen to This Is How We Do It, before the song even drops in, you hear what you heard on the Marvin Gaye song. You hear what you heard on Jamaica Funk. Like, you hear humans. Real people, and the vibe of that room. I don't care if you're AI and you say, hey, give me crowd noise in the back. It's just not the same, bro, because there's something that's captured with there's an element that happens when we're in the room. We could have done this via Zoom. You could have had your cigar. I could have been at my house, and we could have been Zoom. And this has been a great interview.
Great
conversation.
conversation.
But there's something different about I can smell your cigar. I can see, I can touch your boots.
Yeah.
Like there's just something that's different when you are actually in the room. And I think that's what's missing with music, or what AI cannot do and what it tries to duplicate. And the problem isn't with AI. The problem is with the consumer that isn't versed enough to know the difference or desire to know what was it that mom and daddy really loved about listening to that.
Yeah.
Man, my kids, man, they listen to, we listen to the Emotions, they listen to Earth, Wind and Fire, they're just different kids, man, and their musical taste is just different. They can listen to the stuff today, they relevant or whatever,
Yeah.
but they understand this right here and this right here.
Now, real quick, I want to, since you said you didn't hear it, I want you to hear the actual remix.
So let me start it over. So it's
How did she do that? Yeah. How did you get here? Bitch, I caught the bus. Nobody's supposed to be here. Bitch, I came to fuck.
Whoa.
I tried that
Never heard this.
for the last time. My heart says no. Bitch, your heart can't talk. Nobody's supposed to be here.
This was going on in our cafeterias and our, like, that's what it was.
What kind of remix is how?
That's
How did she do that? Yeah.
crazy.
yeah, like in the club.
Wow.
If
Does Deborah know that? I've
There's a
never.
video of her on a
Never.
cruise ship.
I'm
She's
telling
singing,
you.
and the crowd is. I'm gonna find
With,
it.
with Deborah?
no, for real. Like if
I'm like,
that
does she
song
know? Does
comes,
she know that?
you have to know. And that's why I'm like, I'm surprised you didn't know that impact. It's not to say that song is
No,
bad.
it's
the millennial generation.
They
It's
made
like
it
when
their-
that song comes, it's like, bro, in Fellowship.
That's her singing.
Like, watch this be a challenge now. That her name may be Deborah,
They might have hashtagged her. That ain't Deborah.
But it's so
I'm
much.
sure she knows.
No, for sure. She has to know. But all in all, that type of impact is like, yo, like those live rent free in DJ's kind of capsule. Just
another one, not song, but I keep hearing that the Fighting Temptations, that movie that I'm in with Beyonce and Cuba Gooding Jr., that's another millennial movie that people grew up watching. That's like
what? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like it, bro. A lot of people don't give people like you enough credit because you've been able to be Benjamin Buttons almost. Because you've time surfed. When you're talking about, bro, I pledged.
Like an album title right there.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, I've pledged 36 years ago, 37. I'm like, bro, I'm 36. You know what I'm saying? And without knowing who Montell is, I just hear it. You hear it. You're like, oh, okay, cool. And then all of a sudden, when you are around them, or an individual that has had era impact, it's like, do you even know? You know what I'm saying? Those type of things. But at that time, or during the time of the 90s, you were also being positioned as a sex symbol in R&B. Did that image ever feel like it conflicted versus who you grew up as?
It was never me. It was never me. That was the label was good at what they did.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was good at making music. I was good at telling stories. Dude, I was a goofy, cheesy dude, you know? Like, I like to laugh. I like to smile, you know? And when I was at Def Jam, it was like, don't smile. Don't smile. I was like, don't smile. Like, yeah. You know, Def Jam we hard, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You thug, you know. You got to be that guy that, you know what I'm saying, cheesing and laughing. You got to be that guy that, you know, women want them to smash, and you know, you can't be married. You know, you got to be available. You got to be all these different things. And so all the photos of me that you see back from that time period or whatever, I am not smiling, bro. I got like before Dwayne Johnson was throwing the eyebrow up or whatever, that was my, never smiling. It just, but that wasn't me. That was A&R. That was artist and repertoire. That was, we're creating a persona for you that people would think that was me. And so,
how were you able to, that went against you as the individual, but that persona was the professional version of you?
Yeah.
I have a lot of similarities to that holds, you know, dear to me, where it's like I'm going into an industry where what y'all say it is, it's not what I'm used to it being. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that more in depth, but for your transition in this space of music, in this space of character creation, right? Where did you have to draw the line, or what was your place of being who you were really?
Now I know sometimes you need to draw lines in the concrete as opposed to in the sand, because when you draw a line in the sand, when the water wash over it, the line can keep moving.
For sure.
That line for me became where I would compromise. And that was a challenge for me, because as a guy who loved the Lord, a guy who was a Christian, a guy who's now stepping into this R&B space and now being groomed in the space of, you're gonna be this sex symbol, you're gonna be this, you're gonna be that. There was always a line, bro. And I could tell you, okay, so I got this vivid memory where right after my first daughter was born, and my wife was navigating. By the way, my wife and I, we've been married for almost 32 years to each other. We were, you know, my wife was having some postpartum depression, and we're shooting this video for Falling. And Sally Richardson, you know, says the video. She's an actress, so she knows how to turn on and turn off. And so the label people are like, yo, we got Montell and Sally. You know, we're gonna make it a thing. Let's make it a thing. Let's make it look real. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I'm like, I'm married though, bro. You know what I'm saying? And this is That's my wife, like right over there.
She's here.
Yeah, she's here, you know, and I know she's navigating and dealing with stuff or whatever. And so, you know, and Sally's a consummate professional. Like she's dope, you know, but I wasn't an actor like that or whatever. And so literally there's like this scene where we got a pool table or whatever. And we're supposed to be like kind of having a moment, you know, by the pool table or whatever. And the guys that are behind the camera, they're like we got to get this moment, we got to get this moment. So they start like while everything is filming, they start like egging on, like kiss her mom, like pick her up, like grab her, like this and that and the other. My wife is there, and they're doing this or whatever. And Sally's an actress, so she's like, you know what I'm saying, like, let's do this, you know, and so whatever. So I like lift her up onto the table, whatever, and everything within me is like, what are you doing? Like, I gotta do this video, like I gotta make it believable,
but it's
and
like, yeah,
I gotta go. I mean, it's Sally Richardson, you know. And so from that standpoint, man, it was moments like that that was just like, you know, compromise happens little by little, you know, and those baby steps of just a little bit, that start to lead to the demise and the erosion actually of the things that will later on happen in my marriage.
Wow.
Little compromises.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, today's discussion is what have I, as in Cam Newton, learned from relationships or intimacy the hard way? Now, wow, it's a very loaded question that could be interesting or uninteresting. But I will say this. One thing I've learned in relationships is I can expect me and others. And learning that, you realize maturity in life and understanding that everybody has free will to think, feel, and act on certain things. And I can't always put how I would have responded, how I would have acted, how I would have, you know, dealt with that specific thing, good or bad, because they ain't me and I ain't them. Intimacy, I think it's an ongoing challenge that you got to realize that every night ain't the best night. You know what I'm saying? I think when you get in that square, okay, I ain't never seen another bed that was shaped other than a square, so I refer to it as the square. You could be in your good behavior, or you may be able to drop 40, or you may be able to just skimp a good 4. But that connectivity with your partner is essential, because even on the baddest night, brothers and sisters, there has to be an element of grace that is needed. Because let's just be honest, we know when we didn't perform our best. Okay. Now, do they know? Because if they knew, like, yo, that wasn't your best work. What I can appreciate is you didn't perform well and they think that, oh, he's not a good performer. Nah, baby, this Michael Jackson, Billie Jean. Michael Jackson moonwalk, okay? Now, you may have gotten an old throwaway on a single or not, but listen, we moonwalking typically. I just ain't had enough slippery surface for me to really moonwalk how I typically moonwalk. But, all right, it is what it is. But that's the unfortunate truth. Now, don't sit up here and say, I ain't never had a bad night. I always deliver premium. Well, I got news for you, brother. You done made the girls' group chat for all the wrong reasons. Well, we all have good days and bad days. At the height of your career, you made a major decision to step away from the R&B spotlight and lean fully into ministry.
Yeah.
What was the final straw for you?
I don't think it was a final straw. I think it was a series of lifetime trying to be something and to achieve a certain success and just never quite getting there. And I would ask God that. I would ask him, like, how is it that this dude here he don't have to do no radio and he's headlining tours, or you let this guy have this amount of success and I'm always got to work. I always got to, can never just seem to get there. And I believe it was because God was preserving me, or he was holding something that he knew I could not handle.
Wow.
And I think that if there were a last straw for me, I think it was when I realized I was in an abusive relationship with music. And when I say I was in an abusive relationship, I loved something that could never love me back, right? And that's abuse. When you love something, you're willing to die for something, you all in on something, and that won't reciprocate that to you. I'm glad you feel that way. I don't feel that.
Yeah.
I was self-sabotage. I'm like in an abusive relationship. Music is never gonna love me back.
Yeah.
And so when I got to the spot of where I felt like I could let music go, and so I was like, I didn't want to break up. I'm kind of like, okay, I'm about to retire. I'm leaving. I'm not gonna do this song no more. Ain't gonna be no more. This is how we do it. Ain't gonna be no more Get It On Tonight. I'm leaving, y'all. I'm going. And music was like, bye. Music was never like, no, Montell, don't leave. You so much to the game. So the fabric of what you've given to me. No, I was like, bye.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, this really is the space that I had to learn. My wife can love me. My kids can love me. My family can love me. My church can love me. The music would never loved me. And so I learned that I had to learn in that process of who I was without a microphone.
Yeah.
And for a season, I had to find out. I'm a son, I'm a father, I'm a friend, I'm a giver, I'm a parent, I'm generous. I had to learn all the things I was without a microphone.
Wow. And
then when I was able to be trusted with a microphone again, I say trusted to not fall back into abusive ways of loving something that could not love me back, then I learned that the music doesn't make me, I make music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So do you ever struggle now with still performing some of your secular records while being so deeply rooted in church and ministry?
No struggle.
Do you
Because
alter
I
the-
changed. I changed words.
Okay.
I customized, just like I customized, this is how we do it for New York.
Yeah.
I customized the song for whatever the occasion is.
Now, do you have, like as you're doing it, like you just witnessed the Deborah Cox version, like as you're performing it, people were to say word by word, but for you, do they catch the customization or?
Always. I think, okay, so this is cool, and maybe I hope you'll appreciate this as a kid who was brought up the way you were brought up,
Yes.
and the man that you are now, man. I don't separate now. Remember, I was talking about the church kid and in the world. Like those worlds are not separate to me. For me, everywhere I go, I feel like every place my feet touch is holy ground.
Wow.
I don't think I go to a church because God is there. I feel like God is with me wherever I go. I feel like God is here with us. I think God can be glorified in a conversation with us even here. I think somebody might hear this message or see this message and be like, man, I can't believe they was on there and Cam was talking about God and Montell was talking about God and it wasn't awkward. Like it was like, maybe I need to, go to church, or maybe I need to listen to this new song, or, and so from that standpoint, what I learned how to do was I stepped away in ministry, right? I said, I'm burning the plow. That's a church terminology of when you leaving something behind, you burn up everything so there's no way back to it. So all my tracks, all my everything, I kind of got rid of everything. I said, I'm going all Jesus all the time, all God. I'm not singing that song no more. I'm never singing This Is How We Do It ever again. And I became a pastor. I became an executive pastor. I became a teaching pastor. I became a marriage pastor. I'm in church like 3 years. Now the music industry is calling. They're calling like,
opportunities.
We got this show here. We got this concert here. We got this, we got that. 3 years, nothing, bro. We gave them radio silence. My wife was my manager. She managed me my entire career. They're still calling her. Finally, this one promoter calls her, Cam, and he's like, I'm trying to reach Montell. She's like, this is him. What do you want? He's like, I got a concert. And she's like, Montell is retired. He's like, I know. She's like, why do you keep calling? He's retired. He's like, I've been following him, I need him to come and be on this show. And she's like, well, he don't even sing, all the songs he used to sing anymore. He's like, that's okay. Like, you can customize, do what he needs to do. And she's like, why are you pressing for this? He's like, this is the promoter. He said, I'm a Christian and my shows are dark and I need some light.
Wow.
So from that standpoint, I'm now in the space of like, okay, what am I supposed to do in that? Am I supposed to let somebody else try and bring light, when I know what light is?
For sure.
And I know I can be light? So I came and I basically said, well, I'll do these songs, but I'm not going to sing this song, or I'm going to change these words. They're like, cool. And from that standpoint, I go out and I do shows. And during the middle of my shows, I have crafted my entire show as an experience of, I do my first song and the nostalgia hits everybody. And I'm like, yo, what's up, everybody? It's good to see y'all. Man, I missed y'all. It's been a minute or whatever. Y'all know I'm a pastor now, right? Yeah, it's a long story. I'll tell you about it later. And I just keep it moving. But what I did was I just planted a seed right there. And then I'll do a couple of songs. I'll do a little bit of Let's Ride, just a little bit of it. I don't do the nasty part. I just do for the nostalgia.
Yes.
I give them just enough of the song.
Oh, this my song.
I give it just a little, because they feel like they heard the song. I give them a little bit of it, and I end the song early. And with Master P say, I say, don't do that song no more because it's nasty. Like that. and that's the response, right? People laugh. Oh, it's nasty. I said, yeah, I love Master P. I love Silk the Shocker. That song was nasty, though.
Yeah.
I told you I'm a pastor, right? Okay, let's go to the next song. That's all I'm doing. Just breadcrumbs. And then finally I get to the song, the adultery song, get it on tonight. Let's go somewhere and get it. I got a girl but you. That's a #1 record. I can't not do that song.
Yeah.
But so I'll tell them beforehand, I'll say, hey, I'm about to do this song. There's a story that comes with it, but I'll tell you after the song. We do the song, 3/4 of the way through the song, I bring the song to a close like hold on, stop, just stop the song, just stop everything. Yeah. And this is what I tell them, Ken. I say, hey, y'all, I was joking, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we having a good time. And I said at the top of my show, I told you I was a pastor. That's not a joke. Like, actually, I'm an ordained, licensed minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ changed my life. He made me the man that I am today. And so I'm grateful to be here with y'all, to be able to perform these songs for y'all. And what you may not know is that we're in a space where I'm able to be here to be able to help you see that, one, like you called it surfing, like you said, time surfing. I've called it time travel. I'm probably gonna steal that word, time surfing. I'll give you credit for it. But I will say that what we're doing here is we're like time surfing. Like when you got a good memory in your life, Cam, there's probably a song attached to that good memory. Mm-hmm. If you got a tragic memory in your life, there's probably some music attached to that. And so I give you nostalgia to take you back and forth between good memories and tragic memories. And not only am I giving you nostalgia, but I'm also allowing you to see what it looks like when God gets a hold of a man's heart and then changes him, and then puts him back in front of people that remember him and they know that there's something different about him, but they can't put their finger on what it is. Wow. I'm telling you what it is. It's what Jesus did for me that literally transformed my life. So listen, I know y'all, we at the concert. I know some of y'all don't do the church thing. I know some of y'all don't do the God thing. But here's what, if you don't hear me say nothing else, I just want you to hear me say this. Man, God loves you. And God misses you. And God is not angry at you. And even if you wouldn't go to a church, he sent a 90s R&B singer to Funky Fridays to sit on the couch to let you know that your life is just that valuable to him, and he loves you, and he remembers you, and he thinks about you all the time. You're his favorite. You're on his refrigerator, you know? And I do that, and all I've done is just plan and say, this isn't an R&B concert.
Yeah.
Color Me Bad, just saying I want to sex you up. And now I'm up here ministering the gospel. And then I leave them with that or whatever, and I say, I don't know who that's for, but I know it's for somebody because I wouldn't be here. You know, and if somebody need prayer or whatever, DM me. Me and my wife, we would love to pray for you, for your life and your health and your strength and for your business and all of that. And I love you. And then I'll do, this is how we do it, and I'm out. And so I don't go places, I don't do concerts if I can't say what God gave me to say. If I can't say what God gave me to say, I don't need to be there.
Now, that's from the consumer, or the nostalgia experience that they had from the consumer. What about that transition back into church when, let's say an usher, let's say a person on the motherboard, the deacon board, listen to It's Time to Get It On, or This Is How We Do It, or listening to these type of songs that are promoting sex.
Yeah.
How is that welcome back, or that transition back?
And I know that's not fair. That's not fair. I won't say the church doesn't get what I do. I will say people don't get what I do. And the reality is, I know I'm doing what God told me to do. I am confident that I'm in the position and in the space where God has me ministering. The church is people, and people think the church is a building.
Yeah.
Cam, we have a church right now.
We're having ministry.
We're
Where
having
2 or 3 are gathered.
There you go. But see a church person, I don't want to label church people.
Let's go there.
I don't want to do it. Where 2 or 3 are gathered, if we're glorifying the name of Jesus, if we're talking about him, if we're making his name known, if we're examining scripture, if we're telling stories, if we're in fellowship with each other, if we're having memories of childhood, we are in fellowship together. And so some people would think, well, if Cam don't go to church, or if Montell don't go to church, I am the church. I am, every place my feet go is holy ground. I take that with me. If you think I have to walk into a church to find Jesus, then you missing what the goodness of what God is in our lives. And so from that standpoint, man, I just believe that in order for churches don't understand that Matthew 28 says, go and make disciples. And the church is really good at making disciples when people come. I feel churches because I go out into a space where the church may not go on a Saturday night, and I'm in the casino, I'm in the club, and I'm performing, and I'm pointing people to Jesus saying, hey, if you're out of touch with God, there's great churches around here.
Have you
need
heard
to be
the
there.
good news?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm pointing people to fill pews because somebody got to go and make disciples. Not just make disciples, go. And so that's part of my call. And part of my call is making sure that I go out in the spaces where God leads me. I'm not just out there in the club. Like I got a wife, kids, grandkids. I love my family. I love being home.
Yeah.
But I will go where the opportunity is for me to find lost people and point them back to Jesus.
For sure. Now, from your old music to your new music, You Chose Me.
Yeah.
What do you want fans to know most about the phase with your music, or with that specific phase of your music?
This specific song, You Chose Me, what I want people to know is this song scared me to death.
Wow.
Because Renee Spearman is a great songwriter, vocalist, and artist, and she got Kim Burrell. They already had a #1 song together that they've done a song, prior with each other. Now, when I get brought into this opportunity to join the song, anybody that knows anything about music and gospel music and vocal ability, Kim Burrell she's got to be top 3, if not #1. Like you got the Tamala Mans, like there's some great people, gospel vocally. Kim Burrell
She's top tier.
She's top.
Yeah.
Not even top 10, top 5. Like she's top 3. And like you fist fighting over who that top 3 is.
Correct.
And from that standpoint, when I get a song with her vocals in this song, I'm looking at this thing like, no, surely you do not want me. Surely there's somebody else who is vocally far more advanced and worthy than me, which by the title of the song, You Chose Me, is, yeah, maybe somebody else could have done it, but God chose me. And so I took the song and I basically took the stance on it. Where can my placement, where can my vocal, where with what AI can't do and what I can do, how do I find my space in between where she is and where I am to make this thing come together and just feel right?
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And they loved it. And now we got a song that's climbing the charts right now. And I'm super, super grateful. I am working with one of the most amazing, timeless artists of this generation.
Yeah, that's so dope, man. Now let's get into your marriage, because something that has been mentioned but not kind of specified, but you've been married since 1994. And if you do the time, that was during your musical career.
Yeah.
What has been the real key to sustaining that relationship through fame, change, and life shifts?
The key, I think, is recognizing that marriage is not just a contract, and marriage is not just vows. Marriage is not just an agreement, and marriage is not just an institution. Marriage is a covenant, and that's a churchy word. But a covenant is different from a contract. A contract is written and designed, one, to have ways to get out, or a contract is based on performance.
Yes, sir.
So if you and I go into a contract together, it's kind of like, we're gonna have something in there, but if Montell don't do this, then Cam can do this. And if Montell, and so that contracts are performance-based. Covenant is not performance-based. Covenant is obedience-based. And whereas most people are entering marriage with an exit strategy, we entered with an eternal strategy. We went in thinking there is no out. We want this to last forever. Shout out to Keith Sweat. We want to make it last forever.
Make it last forever.
Yeah. And I think that has been at the core of who we are as a couple. We have taken divorce off the table. We understand that divorce is an option for some people. We would say if divorce is an option for you, you got too many options. And that's what we do, man. We put God at the center of our decisions, and we don't just say that. We practically live out what we're reading in Scripture for our family, for our kids, for our grandkids. We want to build family legacy where people can point back and be like, I think marriage is a reflection of Father, Son, Holy Spirit cooperating with each other. I think marriage is a sign of that in the earth.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Of course.
Did you sign, or did she sign, or did she get a prenuptial agreement created?
No.
So y'all all in.
We all in.
Now, when you hear that,
Yeah.
is a person not all in if a prenup is signed?
Yes.
Explain.
That's a tough one, right? Okay. Here's the best way I can give it to you. You probably fly a lot.
Yes.
I fly quite a bit. I don't fly the plane, but almost every plane that I have been on, they never give me a parachute. Never. They give me life rafts, they give me a bunch of different stuff to be able to survive if that thing go down, but they've never given me a parachute. Every plane that I've been on, they don't give the pilot parachutes. You know why? Too many options. If my pilot is flying the plane, he got a parachute? That's dangerous. That's dangerous because when things get rocky or he sees some clouds or he gets some turbulence or whatever, if he goes down, the whole plane goes down because you couldn't stick it out and do what you were supposed to do and do what a plane is supposed to do. A plane is supposed to take off, fly to a destination, reach the destination safely. And that's marriage. Marriage is supposed to take off and fly to a destination. There's turbulence, there's difficulty, there's bumps, there's all type of different stuff, weather conditions, whatever, but it's supposed to arrive there safely so that you're able to enjoy the place that you're going to. And parachutes give people too many options. And to me, that is what prenuptial agreements are. And I get it, man. I understand, you got people that make billions or whatever. My label, they pressed me so much to be able to say, man, listen, before we do this deal with, man, you need to have a prenup. You have a new prenup. And I was just like, I just don't feel like that's what God wants me to do. That's an exit strategy. Yeah. If this don't work out, then this is yours, this is mine. And I've never looked at, my entire life has been built with this woman, and there's never been for us a yours and a mine. It's always been ours, all of it. And even when I was unfaithful in my marriage, all right, when we only got one kid and I'm unfaithful to my wife and she has an out.
A legitimate
I can legitimately be out and take half.
And I can.
I'm guilty. I could take half and be out. And God tells her, stay, because your life and your daughter's life depend on it. And so she's just being obedient to stay because she don't want to stay. She want to be out. And the people are telling her, girl, leave and take half. And God is telling her, girl, stay and have it all. And so that's the space where we've worked through infidelity. We've worked through losing a child. We've worked through bankruptcy. We've worked through a house fire. We've worked through so many of the biggest tragedies that people could. We've worked through cancer, dog. And in this journey of all the different ways that somebody could want to exit, find their off-ramp, we are living the most beautiful life knowing she know I ain't going nowhere. And I know she ain't going nowhere. And we know it's hard, it's difficult. We've been married, like I said, going on 32 years, and we know it's hard, but you probably heard marriage is hard. Divorce is hard. Choose your hard. You know?
I love where we're at. And I think we're in a day and age now where living how you live, living how I live, we've all experienced a healthy relationship.
Sure.
We've all experienced an unhealthy relationship.
Yeah.
Is every marriage worth saving?
That's a trick question, Gab.
But it's like when you see certain things in marriage counselor.
Yeah.
When you see certain things.
Yeah.
And you witness it and you're seeing it unfold in real time.
Yeah.
Whether through, well, I don't like how she do this.
Right.
I don't like how he do that. And it's like, all right, how do you decipher?
Yeah.
Okay, this is not gonna work.
Yeah.
And what's the famous, church right? This ain't of God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But is there ever a point in time where you can say, or is that every marriage is worth saving?
Every marriage, it's the way you phrasing that question, man. Every marriage is worth saying. Okay, I'm gonna answer it, but I got to give a disclaimer. Okay. I don't think every marriage is worth saving, but I'll never say that to a couple. I'll never be the guy that's there in a space to be able to, yo, this ain't working, y'all. Y'all need to just, y'all are better off. I'm not that guy. And here's why I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy because I was the guy that was not worth saving. I was the guy that didn't just cheat one time. I was the guy that cheated multiple times in multiple cities, in multiple circumstances. I was the guy that was super, super risky. I was the guy that destroyed a family. I was the guy that almost destroyed a woman and a child. I was a guy that destroyed a complete family unit. And by every stretch of the imagination, anybody on the planet that would have seen us would, without question, tell her, woman, run, run, run. Save yourself because he is destructive. I'm that guy. And God took me and he changed me because she didn't abort what God was trying to give birth to in me. The passionate dude I am now about marriage, about family, about legacy, is because I wasn't that dude at one time. And God made me something that I wasn't, Cam. So now, even though I see a guy who's just a bastard and he's almost borderline evil in the stuff that he's doing, I still got to go back and not forget who I was to be able to think there's no hope for him because that says there was no hope for me. I know who I am now. Dude, I'm an adulterer. How am I doing marriage ministry? How is my wife, how are we helping save marriages with what we've been through? It's because of what we've been through. It's because of our story. Our test became our testimony. And so now, people don't get it, but There are people who are struggling with stuff in their marriages. And there are marriage counselors out there who have never been through what we've been through. And those people don't necessarily trust what they are saying, the tools they're getting, the resources they're getting, because they ain't live it. One of the biggest things that we get, or one of the biggest reasons why our marriage ministry, and we're doing a bunch of different stuff. We got This Is How We Do Marriage podcast. We got a bunch of stuff coming, man. And one of the reasons that people, when they first meet me and Kristen, the first thing women want to know is, how did you stay? How did you stay? That's what they want to know. They're drawn to us because they're drawn to my wife. They want to know, how in the world did you stay? And she's able to guide women into the space of not staying into something that's not going to work, but if God is going to do something, because he can, are we going to pull the ripcord and you know what I'm saying, utilize a parachute when we don't know what God can do in a man?
What's the common issue from what your expertise has shown between you and your wife, Kristen, right, that you've seen as you are counseling a couple, whether married, engaged, whatever, that you kind of sense to tell, obviously our audience that this is the common thing that I see, the issue in relationships. What is it?
It's crazy. Narcissism.
From who?
From husbands.
What?
Yeah. Narcissism.
Not the the timeliness of that. Wow.
Narcissism. Yeah. Most of the most damaging relationships that I have seen are when a husband is narcissistic and you could define that
many different ways.
Many different ways. Mm-hmm. But if you're asking me for a common thread, from a woman, normally there's unmet expectation, and there's nagging, and there could be finances, there could be some infidelity. There's tons of things that all add into it. It's never like really one thing. Right. But at least the common thread that my wife and I have seen is that when a man feels like he's entitled and can get away with almost anything, that's dangerous. And I think every man needs accountability, and men do not like having accountability.
So how would you counsel a woman to navigate through a man's narcissism? What you tell her? Run? Get the hell out? No.
Well, one, we always want women to be safe, and I'm not bashing just women, men in this, because there are some narcissistic women as well.
Okay.
It can go both ways. Narcissist.
Woohoo! We'll stop. Go ahead.
I think how do we counsel a woman to navigate with a narcissistic husband? If I'm honest with you,
I wouldn't expect you not to be.
Yeah. There are certain things that my wife and I are really good at. And then there are certain things that only God can do. And that's not a cop-out. It's just literally, there are spaces when I realize if I'm writing a song and I say a dope line, and I could be writing, and then it'll come, I go, woo!
Yeah, they cooking.
But I know right then, that wasn't me. That was not me. Like, I'm talented, but remember, anointing is what God can do through me with the gift that he gave me. And I think it's the same way when we're doing marriage ministry. If we're navigating and we're trying to find the spaces, like when I'm sitting there, if I'm counseling, I'm listening to I'm fully engaged. Me and my wife, we're fully engaged. And at the same breath, while we're fully engaged, I'm listening to God and I'm saying, Lord, what do you want? What do you want us to say? What do you want us? Because I got resources. We got tools. We got a 3-step for this. And if you do this, we got that. But ultimately, when someone's heart and their brokenness and those things are on the line, I'm asking God, okay, what do you want us to say? Because you don't want us to tell them to leave. You don't tell them to get a divorce. We're here. We're available, God. So use us, anoint us to be able to do what you need to do to save a marriage. Because if you don't do it, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that we tell couples. And the other thing is, normally we're not just ministering to just the wife or just the husband. Normally, if you get to me and Kristen, it's normally because both of you recognize, okay, we're at a spot where something got to happen right now.
And is it predominantly marriages?
We do premarital as well.
Okay.
Yeah. I see you don't have a ring, so we do.
I don't.
We do premarital too. Yeah. We think that's a lot of times more important to prepare someone for what they're going to be in a marriage.
Well, let's talk about it then.
Let's talk about it.
Because, I can hear them comments now. Montell.
They ain't gonna come for you.
Get them.
Yeah.
I've said time and time again,
Yeah.
and I'll reiterate it here. My desire or my fear of divorce is greater than my desire to get married. How would you counsel me?
The first thing I will say is, you were brought up in church, and first of all, you know that fear is not from the Lord. So if you're starting out a statement of saying, my fear of divorce, what are you afraid of? That, were your parents divorced?
No, sir.
How long were your parents married?
42 years.
Your parents were married for 42 years. Okay, so let me ask you this. Would you say that your parents are happily married?
I would say so.
Yeah.
But for all 42 years, I think when I see them, they are happily married.
Because you've seen probably people that are miserable in a marriage.
Yeah, I don't see that. I've never seen that in my my parents' marriage.
Right. Is there any part of you that wants that? Even
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so do you want that more than you would fear? The fear factor is that divorce doesn't have to happen. Divorce is something that, you understand where I'm going
Can I drop
here?
a bomb on you?
Yeah, come on.
I think we all share this in one way or another. I don't want to die alone. This is really me tapping into a version where it's okay, what is it? It's like I practice marital, habits.
Without the commitment.
Say it again?
Without the commitment.
Yeah. And I don't, it came because of what I was experienced with when in the world of being successful.
Yeah.
Like I said it earlier. I was like, yo, there's some things that's happening that I'm witnessing, and I'm like, no, that ain't what I kind of sensed it. Now we're here now.
Yeah.
Because when I first got into the league, when I first got notarized, it was an honor to see a person with their ring, male or female, woman or man, and it's like, oh, he married. Yeah. Cool. Man, let's go hang out. We hanging out, and it's like, your actions ain't actioning as if you were married.
Right.
Hey, you're married, sweetheart.
But
that's cool. Like, why are you coming on to me like this?
Yeah.
You got one of them. Yeah. You're off limits. Why are you putting me in? No.
Right.
It's those type of experiences that it's like, oh, everybody doing this.
Yeah.
Or what I was experienced to is like, oh, that's the image. Mm-hmm. Y'all ain't really true blue about this.
Right.
Because Jackie and Cecil, my mother and father, they was real about it. Still to this day.
Yeah.
And to tell you that I know what that structure is, I'm the only one in my family that's not.
Yeah.
My oldest brother, CJ, Cecil Jr., his wife, Bethany.
Yeah.
I admire that. My younger brother, Kalen, and his wife, Brianna. I love that.
Yeah.
It's like I'm the outcast, But the narcissist in me that I've acknowledged and understand, ain't now one of them seen what I done seen.
Right.
It's that's been easy to just pop. When you go to the bank, they look at your last name, but it's like, the teller ain't gonna change her tone because whatever she may, hey, you Cam daddy. But when Cam goes to the bank,
It's different.
that teller looks at that bank account and it's like, ooh, Mr. Newton.
Yeah.
That hat, wow. With or without a ring.
Yeah.
I've witnessed some of the most utterly gross temptations that nobody would see or understand. And it's hard for me to experience that and still tell a person a vow.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm telling you something where it's like, dog, I'm telling you it, but you don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's different than having this kind of conversation because I always have it. And not to say I didn't respect anybody else's kind of testimony.
Yeah.
But for you, I know what you went through, brother.
Yeah.
Your office is the club.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So let me hop in there. I'm relevant to your life. And there's several reasons why. One, because we got a lot of parallel stories, right? Two, because I understand what it is like, as the Bible says, to be abased and be abound, meaning to have much and to have little. I understand what it is like to have thousands and thousands of people chanting and rooting for you, right? And then go back to a room where the silence is more deafening than the crowd. In those spaces, I can understand what hypocrisy looks like, what it feels like when we are inundated in a Hollywood, athletic, man, it is not pretty, man. But here's what I would say. I want to make sure that I word this correctly. You have been a very favored man, meaning I think God has his hand on you. He has favor on your life. There's a scripture that says, he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains the favor of the Lord. And to me, I could have done some great things in my life without my wife. I could do some good music. I could have I could do a lot of stuff. I could probably make a lot of money. I could have done and see a lot of stuff. But he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains the favor of the Lord. Of all the things that you have navigated in your life, you still have yet to tap into obtaining the favor of the Lord. Even with God's hand on you, on his hand on your shoulder, his hand on your pot, everything that you do, that you touch that's blessed, there's still a level that's untapped because there's something that's released only through obedience. Now, that's not just with anybody. I won't even say the narcissist, but I will say the narcissist and the fearful person that does not want to live this life alone. So if you say, I don't want to die alone, you know what I mean? But I could probably pick up, this or that or the other. I battled cancer twice. I'm a 2-time cancer survivor. Dude, I couldn't pick up nobody to come on that journey. One, nobody wants to go on that journey. I don't care how much money or whatever somebody got. I needed a rider who's been there, who's been along with me for the entire journey. And not only that, now on the other side of cancer, we are celebrating and loving and experiencing the world differently. And I couldn't do that with just anybody. There's an investment that's been made. And the difference is, if you pick up along the way, you can spend time. And there's a difference between spending and investing. You, I would hope, at some point want somebody you can invest in life as opposed to spend time in life. And then the other piece that just comes to my mind is that what do you want for your kids? Like my grandkids and my kids, they're watching. And they're watching the choices that I make. They're watching that I could choose to have this ride, or they're watching that I'm trying to build a marriage ministry to help some couples. And they're watching the choices that I make, and they are formulating who they're gonna be based on what they see me do. So if you have sons and daughters, correct?
Yes.
If you have a daughter who, a guy she's interested in, it's like, yeah, but I don't ever want to be married. Yeah. Let's live together. Let's get a great place. I'm gonna take care of your daughter. Sorry, I just don't want to marry her. Yeah. There's a part of you that's either, okay, I'm good with that, because I mean, hey, I didn't do it, so I can't expect him to. Or there's a part that still says, I want her to be secure. I want her to take care of her. I'm her dad. I take care of her. I want him to take care of her. I could be wrong on that.
No, I like where we're at. I must say this. I failed my children with that, because I did not give them that ability to have the one. I have 9 children with 3 different women. Mm-hmm. And I'll be lying to you if I told you that, everybody gets along, we do great.
Right.
Now, granted, with Kia, with Lorena, with Jazz, we have a great co-parenting relationship.
Sure.
Right? I also would be honest with telling you that I think I found my person, but there's still the flesh, not with temptation, it's the flesh of fear that has its times where it's like, bro, oh no, man, being obedient word is very heavy.
Yeah.
Just understanding how I navigate my world. Now, to my children, I've battled with acceptance of creating a broken home.
Yeah.
How do they navigate emotionally with accepting other women as their motherly figure?
Yeah.
Not as their mother, but as a source to gain perspective for what a woman may do, how a woman may love. It's still respect. And no woman, by no stretch of the imagination, is trying to take the mother's role for said child.
Correct.
It's all respect. It gets very tricky, because I'm in a dynamic that, number one, a lot of people have heard what I said.
Yeah.
And knowingly or unknowingly, I've brought shame or embarrassment to one of those 3 individuals. I can apologize all I want.
Yeah.
I can say it won't happen again all I want. But some way, shape, form, it continues to happen.
Yeah.
But like you mentioned, I use Funky Friday as a ministry to get the word, to have these type of conversations.
Yeah.
Because everywhere that I look, it's not necessarily these conversations that are happening.
Right.
It's like, how are we able to not necessarily agree to disagree, just to share insight that you have said a lot of things today that I will implement in my life. It just comes a time where it's like, I only can take it day by day.
Right.
I'm still human.
Yeah.
And understanding that, yes, finding a wife is a good thing, but still understanding when you're focused on here, but you're still getting nudged and grabbed and over there, and it's not going nowhere.
Yeah.
And no matter how much I try to separate or sever, leaning more on fitness, leaning more on family, leaning more on things that, like, bro, I don't go out. Dog, I don't hang out with the same people. I try to lean more on family. I lean more on people who have like-minded interests.
Yes, sir.
That those are the things that I try. It still creeps in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, go ahead.
Yeah. you said Cam's, how you navigate in Cam's world. That's the first portion that I would challenge. It's Cam's world until it's not. And we are all grateful, you know what I'm saying, that you got health, you got strength, you got things moving and shaking. And yes, it seems like it's your world, okay? I would push back on that a little bit. And once again, I have to go back to, like, I had Montell's world or whatever, you know what I'm saying, until my world got flipped upside down. And for me, it was cancer. And then, you know, it was my wife's mother passed away. My wife's dad passed away. It was when my daughter got diagnosed with scoliosis. Like, you realize that, yeah, it's my world, but is it really? From that standpoint, you can make decisions based on it being your world. That is lack of submission. And when I say lack of submission, that means I don't know who you have in your life that could tell you no. Or somebody in your life that can say, Cam, that's a really, really bad decision. I'm not just talking like a financial advisor. Mm-hmm. I'm saying somebody that in your circle of influence, you've given permission to be able to say, man, if you see me riding off the rails on something, point it out to me, because we got blind spots, man. I got people in my life who have accomplished far more than me that I've given permission to let me know when I'm tripping. I have people who have accomplished about as much as I've accomplished that I've given permission in my life to say, man, if you see me while, you know, I need you to check me.
Can I stop you right there real quick? Because that person that you're describing, I have those buffers. But an example would be, what if you have admiration for a person that, and it's real tricky.
I get what
it's
you're
not
saying.
idolizing them. It's like, yo, you respect.
It's respect.
Yes, you respect the person. But when you know behind the curtains, they aren't.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not always sex, and we live in a very surface level situation. It's not where I'm tempted with women. Is that one? Yeah, but it's other things where it's like, man, Montell, bro, I rock with you, dog. And then for me to find out that you've been cheating on your wife this whole time, it's crushing.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. It's like, bro, I know too much.
Yeah.
The people who are in ministry, the people who are Fortune 500 CEOs, the people who are the athletes that we idolize and do all these things, when you really build a relationship with them and you're like,
and then you find out
you've been doing this the whole time.
Yeah.
Those are the things that's like, I feel played. And now I feel that everything that I believed in was in question. And that's more detrimental because now it's like, okay, you got success and you've been doing this.
Why won't you become what you hate?
Say it again.
Why wouldn't you become the thing that you hate about that you would be a fraud, that somebody would be a fraud? This is what people, all right. A lot of what people hate about the church, oh, they steal money, or they this, or they're not authentic, or they this, or they that. It's like, okay, if those are the things that you don't like about the church, rather than standing on the outside of it and saying, I hate that about the church, they fake this or that, become the church. Be the part of the body that you despise that they're doing it incorrectly. And so from the standpoint of, if you got so many people that you see that are behind the veil cheating and being unfaithful and doing one thing and then doing another, whatever, you're a man of integrity. It sounds like you're so much of a man of integrity that you would rather not commit and then be a hypocrite. I would rather just be, I'm just not gonna commit. I'll handle my responsibilities, I'll do this and I'll do that. But rather than be what y'all are, I would rather miss what God may even have for me.
You just said something nobody has ever said. I'd rather not commit rather than being a hypocrite.
Is that accurate?
That's the gospel. That's it. I've never heard it said like that. So what I've experienced, I can't live a lie.
Yeah.
I've made a name off of being authentic to who I am.
Yeah.
The woman that's in my life, the women that are in my life, I've made a vow to them to always do right by them. And 42 years witnessing what marriage is, I have to come to grips and say, the person that I am today, I can't be that. So I'm not gonna lie and try to be that.
I get that.
And that's what when I say fear, that's not necessarily fear, that's the revelation that I've witnessed with myself.
Yeah.
And I've tried. I'm with a person who is patient with me. Like my home feels like a home.
Yeah.
Like my children respect me. I respect my children. That dynamic, like I said, I practice marriage principles.
Yeah.
But
marriage ain't a principle, Cam.
I understand that. I receive that.
Marriage is a process.
Yes, sir.
It's not a principle, it's a process. And here's the thing. And this is a truth for not just you, this is a truth for everybody. When you hear the word of God, like when you hear the truth of the word of God, when you're faced with it, most people will either hear the word of God and hear the truth, and then they will either take that truth and bend it to meet their lifestyle, or when they hear the truth, they will take their lifestyle and bend it to meet the truth. So as you're hearing truths and have heard truth, not just today, but seeing it with your parent, when you see truth and you've seen those pieces, the goal becomes, I know what truth is, I've seen it, but do I want to take truth and just bend it so that it matches my world and my lifestyle? Or at some point, I got to challenge you, man.
Yeah.
I got to challenge you. One of the things we got in common, man, we both a little crazy. We both did Special Forces.
Yeah.
I was on the first season of Special Forces.
Wow.
I don't like heights. I don't like water. I don't swim. I fell backwards out of a helicopter into the Red Sea and swam to shore because of me trying to conquer that fear. You jumped up.
Yeah.
You did
That's some crazy stuff.
that's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
That's another thing that we, okay, so from that, the point that I'm making is we both are willing to take leaps. We both have been willing to make risk. And I believe we both believe God will bring us through it. Because I wouldn't have done it otherwise. But the point I'm making is from that standpoint, if you know what good is and you know what God may have for you, that what is capable of being there, I think I just feel like I feel like God got something for you, man. He got something for you, and you've seen so much that you would be willing to forfeit what he might have for you for the sake of how it may look to somebody else.
Can I push back on something?
For sure.
Because I think this needs to be said from my perspective.
Yeah.
I receive everything that you're saying, but I think what people need to understand in my world,
Yeah.
I've seen great things happen to bad people.
For sure.
And I've also seen bad things happen to great people.
Yeah.
So when those words are uttered and God got something planned for you, and then I process success
Yeah.
as a tangible thing to show. It's like, yo, I've created a platform with the help of others to be able to showcase this, and it's monetizable. That's
Sure.
success, how people kind of have labeled it.
Yeah.
I've also processed success as being a hell of a man. My dad, to me, is my hero.
Yeah.
He's a hell of, man, if my dad did anything corrupt, boy, he got to be a doggone magician because I just never seen it.
Right.
Is he perfect? No. But what I've witnessed was a true man of God.
For
right?
sure.
So when people say those things, it's like, hold on, you're talking to a person, like I said, I've seen a super successful person.
Sure.
And I've peeled back the layers and said, oh, but he's doing this. So, but how's he a billionaire though?
Right.
Like you're a bad person,
Yeah, for
dog.
sure.
You don't care about people, but you promote this. But how you have this much access? I'm not saying this is like specifically, but I'm just using those as examples. Like I've witnessed a lot. And as we kind of bring this discussion to a close, but it's just one of those things that, man, I've seen a lot.
Would you be willing to exchange success for significance?
Explain.
Success by the world standards, these accolades, these this, that, by all measures, success.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad is significant.
Mm-hmm.
Would the world call him successful? Maybe if he built a church of this many people, or if he did this or that. It sounds like your dad is more significant than by the measure of the world's success.
Yes.
When I say, would you, okay.
Some would say if I had my father's impact on my children, that will make me successful. Right? I'm looking at my son right now, right? He's been interning here, and I just use this as an example because it's tangible for people to understand. Mm-hmm. No matter if it was him or anything that has came up through my household, him being successful now makes me successful, which he may say I played a significant role in his life. Mm-hmm. And that right there, it's like yin and yang, or it could be intertwined together. Mm. But looking at my father through the natural eye, if you did not know who he was, you would not know who he was. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
I get that.
Yeah.
I want to sit with your son one day, just to ask him some questions, man. I think you have more influence than you even know, bro. And influence works in the positive and the negative. Mm-hmm. I think without even knowing, without even talking to them, I think stability and all the things that even with the different moms and the family dynamic that somehow works together, but it's not perfect, but it is, I think there's a favor that your kids would want to see you have.
Because through it all though, and this has turned into a therapy session for me, I've taken ownership on my mistakes.
Yeah.
What I want to tell people is there's a lot of people that can relate, and I'm not happy to say that out loud. Yeah. Like people can make rights to the wrongs that they've been a part of.
For sure.
And I'm still a work in progress. It's like, man, bro, speaking to a guy like you, dog, gives me hope. It's like, okay, yeah, like, man, when I see my younger brother, bro, Kalen, don't curse. Like he's the pure blood of our bloodline. I'm like, and I said this when he got married. I was like, bro, Brianna, you got the good one.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this as his brother, you feel me? Like I feel way off the track. But, you know, through it all, I think people who lean into what they are, like I see the light and I'm like, and the light don't mean marriage. The light don't mean success. The light don't mean money. The light means the fulfillment of me being happy with myself, and I am happy. Yeah. Because I know that the person I used to be or the things that I created that hurt people, I have opportunity to heal that. And that's what's most important to me.
I get that.
I know I wasn't the best that I was during that time that person may have known me, but as I keep growing, I'm able to at least say, I apologize for the harm that I have done.
Yeah. Here's what I would hope, man. You know, when you come, a lot of times we do shows and stuff like this, and people say, hey, you're welcome anytime, this or that. I would avail myself, man. I don't want nothing from you, man.
Oh, it's done.
I want to.
Well, I'm about to say something.
I would love to be just a man in your life.
I need it.
That because I live my life, man, to be honorable to God in a space that you wouldn't be able to point at me like you point at some of the other people that have failed. And I know I put my stuff out there, but I can tell you, God healed my body. God healed me and my wife. He's put us in a position to where we can help not only married couples, but people who may have a desire to be married, because family legacy is important to us.
Yes, sir.
You're a young man. You still can have 40-something years, but there's spaces that you would need to go to be able to get there. So I would just say, let's spend some time and just get Cam. And I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. None of that, man. I'm just a guy that loves God, and I listen to what God is saying, and I try and share that and hope that people's lives, when they hear truth, will bend towards the truth as opposed to bending the truth towards their lives. And so,
yeah, you're easy to talk, bro. Like, it's easy, you know what I'm saying, without it feeling judgy. Because that's another thing, too, that church has taught a lot of us. It's like, we give you the foundation, but we're going to also teach you how to judge, too. Before we get out of here, bro, talk to the audience about, the documentary that you're working on.
2-time cancer survivor, prostate cancer. The moment I got diagnosed, I started filming. There was no GPS for me to be able to know how I tell my wife, how I tell my kids, how I tell my mom, And so we started filming. We have a documentary called Sustain. We're almost at completion of it. I don't know when people will see this, but we're hoping by the end of 2026, 2027, we want to do film festivals. We want to find a home for Sustain. And it is the story of how we battled cancer twice, and how I didn't need my wife to carry cancer. I needed my wife to help carry me. I didn't need my kids to carry cancer. I needed my kids to help carry me.
Yeah.
And in this journey, I learned that I can do hard things. I can't do hard things alone.
Yeah.
And so for anybody that's navigating, or had anybody, you may be dealing with cancer right now, or some form of disease, or a loved one is navigating it, this is going to be a movie that I think is going to change. It is the most transparent, vulnerable project that I think can be found anywhere, where somebody is literally navigating through the journey of cancer and documenting what we ate, how we vetted doctors, all of that. But it's not a medical movie.
Yep.
It's a life movie of how me and my family navigated cancer.
I think what's important for this is that we all know we're not here for eternity.
Oh yeah, we all got expiration dates.
For sure. How has cancer brought you close to your wife, your children, and even your spirituality?
I could say what cancer did to me, but I would rather say what cancer did for me. Mm-hmm. And somebody will, so what possibly could cancer do for you?
Right.
What cancer did for me was it gave me a perspective beyond everyday human life. Mm-hmm. Most of us are focused on the day-to-day, and we don't think about eternity, as though it's not out there. When I see you, what cancer did for me is it makes me think about your soul more than I think about your day-to-day. Like, I'm really, really focused on eternity. And in addition to that, what cancer gave to me is the perspective that my entire life, 57 years, I've been in this space of every instance, I gotta learn how to trust God. I gotta learn how to trust God. In this situation, I gotta learn how to trust God. Like over and over again, do you trust God? You gotta learn how to trust God. I learned in this specific instance with cancer that God had to trust me. And when I say that, it's different when you trust God with something and when God trusts you with something. So this documentary is not something I wanted. It wasn't a movie I wanted to make. It wasn't something that yay, I get to do. No, I didn't want any of it. And I felt like the Lord said, I trust you to tell this story because somebody else needs it. And I don't know if I could trust it with anybody else.
Yeah.
So this is a project for me where I feel like God is trusting me to do what he wants to do.
Now, for the people that may not know, the cancer was prostate cancer.
Prostate cancer.
All right. For Black men specifically, why is it so important for them to take prostate health seriously and get checked early? What would you advise or counsel them, that may not see the importance of getting routine checkups?
Oh, yeah. 1 in every 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. 1 in every 6 will be a Black man. 1 in every 6. And so from that standpoint, early detection helps save lives. Early detection is what helps save my life. The whole thing about, I don't want nobody putting their finger in me, putting their finger in my rectum, that whole thing was, I think, it's an antiquated, out of date. A lot of medical don't even do that anymore. Now, the prostate specific antigen test, the PSA, a blood test, can tell you and can document if you have prostate cancer or not. I've been going to a doctor, I've been getting that finger check since I was 42. They never found nothing. And it was when I got to 53, even the finger check didn't do anything. It was the PSA levels. It was my blood level that for 10 years of going and getting regular checkups and regular screenings, I could see that 10 years ago, my PSA was like 3.1. And the next year it was like 3.2. Next year it was like 3.5. Next year, 3.6. Next year, 4.0. Like I could look and see. Yeah. And then from that standpoint, early detection saves lives, man. Regular screenings, they continue to save lives. And they're saving my life, bro. If I had not gone, if I didn't go to my regular screening and do what I needed to do, I would be like all the names of the greats, what we talk about, your Chadwick Boseman or my guy Dwayne Wiggins from Tony Tone and D'Angelo and there's so many greats that have quietly, and I understand it. Yeah. They have quietly with their families and made the choice to navigate cancer in that way. I'm not going quietly, bro.
Did you have any symptoms?
None.
Wow. No. So it wasn't a pain,
It wasn't like I woke up, I feel something wrong. No. If anything, and a lot of men will experience this, going to the restroom to pee and having to shake a little longer, or they pee and then after they stop or whatever, shake away, they feel like they got to go again. Enlarged prostate, smaller prostate, all of those different things are indicators that something could be, could be wrong. But I didn't feel nothing.
Bro, it's not a cultural thing. It's a manly thing. Right. Because it far exceeds just be tough. That's how we're raised. But for certain things, I mean, we all can do a better job. I'm gonna take ownership in myself too, because you think like seeing the muscles, seeing the stature, you think that's narcissistic. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing gonna happen to me. But bruh, it surely can.
It can. Yeah. And it does not, I won't even say it doesn't discriminate because it is impartial. It can be impartial to men, of color. But cancer doesn't care, man.
My last question is, how has fatherhood and now grandparenthood shifted what success means to you?
I just recognize, man, success means something different to me. I've had success. And because I've had success, I think a lot of it's counterfeit. That's just not for everybody, but for me, it's counterfeit. I want to be significant, man. I got killed on the internet a long time ago. This is relevant to my kids and my grandkids. This is back when Twitter was Twitter. Yeah. And I was out there playing football with my son one day, just young kid, he's about 9 or 10 years old. I'm out playing with him, and I put my phone in the car. By the time I get back to the car, somebody had done a fake account, a fake CNN account, and basically said Montell Jordan was found dead in his downtown Atlanta condo, da-da-da-da-da. My wife is like paging and calling me. My mom is, they think I am dead. And so immediately I call my mom. I'm like, I'm fine. What's going on? I call my wife. Everything is good. And then I go and I look online and I just start scrolling. And as I'm looking, it says, you know, R&B singer Montell Jordan dead. This Is How We Do It singer found dead. The guy that's saying This Is How We Do It is found dead. And I was like, that's how y'all see me? Y'all see me as the guy that did This Is How We Do It, and he's dead? That's all I got. Not the guy that was married for X amount of time, or not the guy that raised a family, not the guy that helped refugees, and the guy that helped missionaries on the mission field, not the guy who preached the gospel, and not the guy, none of that. It was just, you know, the guy that's saying This Is How We Do is dead. So I was like, I can't live my life with that. I don't want to be successful. I want to be significant. And significance for me is that I don't need nobody to lie when my time comes at my funeral. I don't need nobody to try and figure out something nice to say. I want people to be able to say, that dude was authentic. Yeah. That dude loved his wife. That dude was not afraid to say the name of Jesus anywhere. That guy was not afraid to face the truth and to change and to repent and apologize and forgive and all of those different things. And so how has fatherhood, how has this journey with me, I am watching myself replicate something that I think is good. And I'm not all good, but the best part that God has given to me, that's what I want my kids and my grandkids to have, to take into their families and into the world, man. And so for me, it's not about being successful to them. I'm present. I'm there. I'm there at the games. I'm there in the stands. And to me, that is significant.
Yeah. Woo!
You all right, man?
I'm good.
All right, good.
We're gonna connect, bro. This is a birth. This is a seed. You know, that was definitely planted for me, man. Appreciate your time, man. As we end things here at Funky Friday, when I say all together, we're gonna say one love. When I say all together, we're gonna say one love. When I say all together, we're gonna say what?
One love.
All right, one hand out, one finger, one pinky, one thumb. All together, one love. Ladies and gentlemen, Montell Jordan.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, bro. Yeah, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you for your vote.